Thank you. So, hello, guys. My name is Caroline Shouraboura. I'm so excited to be here. It's been so much fun so far to learn and to hear from all the amazing work that you guys are doing. I currently work at Intuit, and I'm excited to share some of the work that we are doing specifically around taking down fake tech support. Now, taking down fake tech support it's a real issue, right? Not just for our customers, but it's personal. My grandparents have been affected by a tech support scam, and I've talked to some of you guys and have had your stories as well. And so, any opportunity to take down fake tech support or any adversary in general, I am all for it. So, what we're going to talk about is a little bit about me, and then most importantly, what I've learned about fake tech support, specifically their tactics, techniques, and procedures, their TTPs, as well as most importantly, how to get ahead and stay ahead of them, because that is the key. So a little bit about me. As I said, hi, my name is Caroline Shouraboura. I work at Intuit, the makers of TurboTax and QuickBooks. I am on the threat intel team, which is all about deeply understanding adversary behavior and categorizing this activity in data. So I am a big data nerd. I went to Carnegie Mellon University where I studied statistics and machine learning, so go Tartans. And I currently live in San Diego, California, but Seattle is actually my home. I grew up in Newcastle and in Capitol Hill, so whenever I can come home, I love it. Like any true Seattleite, when I'm not working, I am hiking. So in my free time, I love to hike. So lots of fun both in and outside of work. So let's talk about fake tech support. Let's talk about what I've learned about their tactics, techniques, and procedures after analyzing thousands of different fake tech support sites. Well, let's baseline ourselves, right? So, what is fake tech support? Well, fake tech support adversaries take advantage of what our guy is feeling right now. We've all felt that frustration where we are working on something, working with a software, and there's a bug on it, or we run into some sort of problem and we need help to solve it. Specifically, what fake tech support is that they are a site that claims to offer legitimate technical services, but a scam. And oftentimes they pretend to be associated with a legitimate business to earn your trust. And this is really true at Intuit. When I was studying these sites, I actually called a few of them and they picked up the phone and said, "Hi, this is Intuit Tech Support. How can I help you?" And so in that moment, I could totally see how customers would fall victim to these types of scams. Now, you might be wondering to yourself, I sure did, is who was on the other end of that phone call? Who was I talking to? And we have this notion that hackers and the other person on that phone is somebody who's sitting in a deep, dark basement all by themselves, alone, with a hoodie. But in reality, what they look like is this office space. There is a really good YouTube channel out there by Jim Browning called Spying on the Scammers. And I highly recommend you check out his channel. But in his video, he uncovers tech support scams. And in this video series in particular, you're literally watching him hack into C2 cameras and watching a fake tech support ring and him actually communicating with them. And very quickly, you can see that it's not an individual person in a basement sitting alone, but it's a cyber ring. They're working together. They're sitting in an office space just like you and I have. And so now, no matter what adversary I'm looking at, I always have this photo in my mind. And now fake tech support, they're really, really good at their job, right? This is a graph that's showing tech support fraud losses in the United States from 2017 to 2021. And you can see it's growing exponentially year over year. In 2021, there was $350 million lost in fake tech support fraud. And this is just what we know. And today, I'm sure it's even higher. So how are baddies luring customers? Well, some of them are getting cold called, some of them are getting randomly emailed, but a majority of them, and just like my grandparents, found them through their own search. And when I saw this, I knew instantly that this was going to be our biggest opportunity to cause friction and disruption. So what are the steps? How are customers finding these fake tech support sites? Well, a warning message appears in QuickBooks. Some type of problem appears, such as this QuickBooks error code 404. Naturally, you search it, and what comes up are a bunch of sites. In this case, the first one is ours, but the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, these are all fake tech support sites. And in some cases, adversaries are buying up ad space, so sometimes they're site will actually appear higher in search results, and so customers are more likely to find it. Well, you click on a site and then it leads you to something that looks like this. A whole goal of fake tech support is for you to call them right away. And so there's going to be a bunch of pop-up windows saying, call me now, connect with QuickBooks experts with a phone number. You call them, you get, hi, this is Intuit tech support, and they get scammed. So now, how are tech support baddies targeting us? Well, adversaries are very good at exploiting weaknesses. And in terms of fake tech support, they're really good at targeting pain points that customers are experiencing with products. In terms of QuickBooks, they're targeting us in 3 ways. The first one is through offering technical services. So a lot of the times when customers are working with QuickBooks, particularly the desktop version, sometimes the file will break. And so they will offer file repair systems for QuickBooks. Another option is that they will sell discounted prices for Intuit software, such as QuickBooks and TurboTax. Both QuickBooks and TurboTax cost money, and customers are always looking for opportunities to save money. And so these are very attractive to them. And then lastly, the one that I saw was happening the most was with the answering customer troubleshoot questions through blog posts, such as there would be a QuickBooks error code 404 blog post or a QuickBooks file doctor networking problem blog post, and it will answer their question. So looping back, what are their tactics and techniques? Well, fake tech support, they are SEO prioritization masters. They have figured out how to get free traffic by ranking high in search engines. Like I said, the first link is ours, but the rest, those are all fake tech support sites. And they lure customers in by using keywords that get them to click on their link, such as saying fix, resolve, and get instant help. If I have a question and I'm a customer, the first thing I want to do is fix, resolve, and get instant help, and so I'm going to click there. They also build trust by being associated, pretending to be associated with a business, and gain access to accounts and computers. We saw oftentimes that customers were giving these fake tech support people their usernames, their emails, their passwords, their credit cards. Sometimes they were even letting them onto their computer, and then they would download malware and all sorts of bad stuff. And all this stuff that they're doing is cheap and it's scalable. These as an example of 2 different websites that look the same. They are the same, but they're 2 different websites. And so what they're doing is just creating content, copying and pasting it across 12 different thousand websites. And that's what they're doing. So most importantly, how do we get ahead and how do we stay ahead? So I thought about this for a while and I was really obsessed with this. And the proposal that I had and that I implemented was to basically mimic and to automate the customer search behavior to continuously find these fake tech support sites before customers do. And I do that in 5 ways. Number 1, I collect all the key search terms that customers are using to find these fake tech support sites. I then proactively monitor search engines with these key search terms to constantly find new sites. I use machine learning to predict if this domain is fake tech support or not, because we get a lot of domains. Some of them are legit, some of them aren't. And then I cluster the related sites together because we'll see these often belong to the same person. And then most importantly, taking these bad guys down. So step 1, collecting key search terms. We've talked a lot that these are customer troubleshoot questions, and a lot of them will create blog posts to answer those questions. So what I did was I analyzed thousands of different known bad fake tech support sites to figure out what are they talking about. And I got a series of topics, such as how to fix QuickBooks payroll error 301, how to fix QuickBooks payroll update error. So I got all of these, but I was getting a lot of stuff. I was getting thousands and thousands of stuff. So then I had a question of what are their main key points. And so I used machine learning to determine the big customer troubleshoot questions. Each of these dots represents a different pain point. And I saw that there's really 3 main areas. There's group 1, which is QuickBooks error code. This was probably the most common one and the most common one that customers were typing in as well. There's about 400 or 500 different error code messages that can come up with QuickBooks. And so every single fake tech support site had at least a blog post on one of these. Another big one was user functionality help. So this is like, how can I change my password? How can I add to an account? Stuff like that. And then group 3 was software help. So this is the software broke. How can I fix it? Questions like that. Step 2, I proactively monitored search engines with these key search terms and collected every single domain possible, say the top 1,000 sites. I then used machine learning to predict if this newly collected domain was fake tech support. And again, this was the really key part because we don't want to collect legitimate customer sites, and we need to filter out everything that's not related to fake tech support. So we have a model that's running to do that. And then step 4, very, very interesting. When I was going through these sites, I quickly saw that a lot of these sites were sharing the same emails, the same phone numbers, they had the same page content. And so what I did here was each dot represents a different fake tech support site, and the edges represent emails, phone numbers, similar content. And I quickly saw that while there's thousands of different websites, there's only maybe 3 or 4 specific adversary groups, and each adversary group was building their site in a slightly different way. And so if ever we found a new site, we could quickly relate it to some sort of group. And then lastly, the most important step, taking these bad guys down. So we have a platform called QuickBooks Live Community, which is kind of like Stack Overflow for QuickBooks. Customers answer and respond to questions. And I saw that there were fake tech support bad guys advertising their fake tech support sites and answering customer questions and luring them away. And this is actually how some customers got scammed. So here's MJ Stockman. He has a Wiz Expert. This is a bad profile. So we're constantly monitoring QuickBooks Live Community for these bad websites, as well as I wrote another machine learning model to look at all the QuickBooks Live Community profiles and predict which ones are high likelihood bad guys, and remove those as well. So now the never-ending problem, how do we actually beat fake tech support? Well, fake tech support, it's like a game of whack-a-mole. You can spend a lot of time taking domains down, but they'll pop right back up again. You can try to take down the fraud rings, but they'll pop right back up again. So the real question is how? How do we take these down? Well, how do you take any adversary down? You cause enough friction, you waste their time until they give up. And right now we are at the center, which is why I was so excited to be here, because this is the center of everything with search and with cloud. And there's so many smart people in this room that I would love to hear your ideas about how we could actually get ahead of this problem. Working at Intuit, we can't do this alone. We do the best that we can, but I would love to hear some of your guys' ideas and see what we can really do to take these sites down, because I think we can. So thank you guys, and come find me after the chat.